and welcome to session 2 of Love Letters to Humanity. I'm Victoria Marie, CTA CC of Life and Wellness Coaching by Victoria Marie. Today, I have the pleasure to bring to you Reverend Emma, ordained minister, massage therapist, and active in the community of Montrose, California. She is also my mother. So besides our family relationship, we have also had a wonderful working partnership for almost 15 years. So I'm going to turn it right over, and Reverend Emma, if you can introduce yourself in your own words.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Victoria Marie, for your recent recipient of the Woman of the Year for 2020. And I know it brings tears to my eyes too, because with all this sequestering, I haven't been able to celebrate you. And I don't know how many people know that of you, but I do. And for that reason, I wanted to start this conversation with honoring you as this amazing woman who has paid her, how do you say it? Her due diligence. And you have done exactly that for the community. So in honor of our Congressman Adam Schiff and all the people who love and support you, I love and support you too, and wanted to say I am so proud. So let us begin.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that.
Well, so do I, because I just think it's something to really celebrate in these times that we need to celebrate. So let me introduce myself again, not only as your mother and a proud participant of prepping you for all this as you are here with me today. So I just want to introduce myself as Reverend Emma-Molina Ynequez. I am the founder and owner of BodyNSoul Studio. And I am a massage therapist and a reverend and a wedding officiate. And I'm just glad to be with you here today on this particular subject at this particular time.
Well, thank you. Yes, because I did ask you today to commune with me on a topic that I think is crucial for people to understand during this time. So I wanted to talk about grief in the time of COVID-19. Now, the term grief is a multifaceted response to loss, particularly to the loss of someone or something that has died or passed, to which a bond or affection was formed. And that really struck me because literally during this time of COVID-19, when people are losing people they love, we're losing also our way of life that we thought would never be affected, especially to this extent. And so I wanted to get your perspective. And I have a few questions to pry into that perspective regarding grief, being an ordained minister, being the human, the woman that you are. I wanted to know what guidance you can offer people in acknowledging and facing their grief during this time.
Well, thank you for that question. I've had to ask that question of myself often, and more often lately, since we all have been, going inward. And I agree with you. Grief is a sense of loss. And whether it is a loss of a loved one, which is the greatest loss of all. But I've always seen grief as love, like a cup, like you have all this love in your heart with nowhere to go. And right now we're sensing it and experiencing it with it even more so in our four walls. I mean, lucky if you have more than four walls, but at this particular time, grief is a place that all of us need to go. I think we're being forced to allow. I think that's what my advice would be to anyone who's sensing grief, whether it's a loss of a job or a loss of control, loss of anything. We all know when we lose our keys or lose our glasses, we kind of lose our minds. So there is this effect that it has on us. So at this particular time, I think it's best that we just allow. And what I mean by that is whatever it is you feel, to feel it. I think we've been so caught up in our jobs. I know for myself, for one, I pride myself on my job. My job is my identity. And just like anything else, you know, family and friends and clients and the world, there is a sadness right now. And that sadness has to wash over us. I find myself weeping in the middle of the day with these thoughts that just race past me. So all I could say is I have to allow it. There's nowhere to run, and there's nothing I can do except to allow the experience of being human. The humanity of what you're speaking of and speaking to today is the fact of allowing ourselves to just be human. I've always raced away from it. I ran away from it. I couldn't grieve. I didn't have time to grieve. I had work to do and children to feed, as you know. And so when we do that, we run away from it. So the best thing I can do, the best advice I can give to anyone, including myself, is to allow this energy, this emotion to wash over me. I can't circumvent it, can't run away from it. We just have to allow it to go and move through us. And through that, it will take us to another level of understanding, instead of being fearful of it, to be faithful from it or through it and sit in that. Because these are the choices we are faced with right now: fear, faith, at this time.
Yeah, I so hear that. I go through it daily, weekly. And so with that, you already kind of prefaced for my next question to you, in this acknowledgement of grief and about losing control of our daily habits, of our work and our lifestyle. Do you think, from your perspective, that it is safe for people to think we're going to go back to what was, or are we at that precipice of moving to a new space that we've never known before?
That is such a beautiful question, because I've asked it of myself, and I hear it constantly, people saying, I just want to go back to normal. And actually that normal wasn't working. It wasn't normal. It was like, you know, hyper vigilant, like racing, you know, in a marathon and never reaching that red tape to cross. And we're being forced to let that go. And that's where the sadness is coming from. The grief of who we thought we are or were to who we really are. I keep seeing that caterpillar everywhere. I see people who want to stay the caterpillar, and the caterpillar doesn't even know what's ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being a caterpillar, right? Crawling on its belly, begging for things, or that's the appearance of a physical. But what's about to happen to the caterpillar, which is about to happen to us, is the same thing. We are going to be authentically who we were born to be, and that is to fly. And that is to fly into a bigger realm and a bigger space if we allow ourselves to go through the motions or the emotions in this place and time that we are forced to. It's the whole world. It's not just, you know, a couple of people or a couple of states. It's the whole world that's manifesting and morphing into something so beautiful. We don't even know what that looks like, but our heart tells us, keep moving forward. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're crying, allow yourself to cry. What the heck? You know, if you're mad or you're sad or you're losing whatever you think you're losing, go through that emotion. Because once you do that, it dissipates. It fades away, and it's like, whew, I made it through that. Now, the next excitement, the excitement for me is, okay, what do I do with all of that? Where do I go with that? And it keeps beckoning me to move forward. Whatever that is, just dress up and show up and keep doing who you are doing, being who you are, helping others, because that's our true nature, is to be of service always. And the way that we can serve the divine is through each other. God sent you, God sent me. And what if it's true that we are the ones we've been praying for? Can you imagine waking up to that tomorrow? So,
Yeah, I love that. I have really come to understand for my own perspective, my own place and where I sit, that um, nature had been whispering, and then it started to shout out to us. Our society being all tweaked out, and all the issues that we've had, whether it's political, the fast pace, that even young children are growing up in this social media environment, that everything is fast, everything is grow, 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 multiply, multiply. And our earth was saying, we can't, you have to slow down, you have to slow down. And we weren't listening. It's like a child, having a temper tantrum, and the parents saying, slow down, take a deep breath, and you can't until somebody literally holds on to you, holds on to your shoulders and sits you down and says, rest now, child. And that's the sensation that I have been getting for quite a while. And knowing wonderful people like you is what stirred this in me to step forward in a new way and to offer what I'm calling these love letters to humanity, because they're perspectives of grace and love and humility from different perspectives. So I really appreciate you agreeing to this. And I kind of wanted to sum it up here, asking you to tap a little bit on the grief and the state of humanity. And I asked if you could possibly send us out with a prayer.
all right. But before we go into prayer, I just want to touch upon a couple of things you mentioned about resting. Most of us are restless.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine that. And this energy that's in us is fuel, but it's moving at such a fast rate that we're melting the snow. Mm-hmm. This energy, this inertia, this fire within us that we thought we were racing and running towards something where we don't even know what that is, it really is burning up. You know, like we're burning the candle at both ends. I guess that's how you can look at it. But we're also affecting the earth. And right now, the blooms are so amazing because it's been raining and we're in and we're not bothering anybody. The freeways are less. Your gas tank is more full. It lasts you a long time. So there's all these good things that are coming from our angst, because I know I have it. The anxiety, that energy is a burn. And so right now, as you mentioned, the universe, God, nature is telling us, like holding your shoulders and saying, my beloved, you are the real deal. What are you arguing with? What are you fighting for? Why are you moving so fast if you know? And this is where it says, be still and know that I am. And with that quieting and softening of our hearts, especially our minds, because that's what's racing, it doesn't allow us to rest. We keep thinking there's something we have to do instead of, guess what? Maybe this is it. We're doing it. So you asked for a prayer. And I thought about, which prayer, because there's so many, because I found the one that I had written. I was going to read a biblical one, which is my mother's favorite. So I'm going to just share with you what I wrote, and I think I am going to end with the Lord is my shepherd. But I wrote to someone recently who was phonetic, running crazy, wanting to see me, and I couldn't. So I wrote this to her as I am writing to us all. It's a time of cleansing and allowing truth of who we are, not who we think we are, to surrender, to cry to our utmost authentic self. So we mourn like grief of things we thought true, but were exhausting instead. Now we get to rest or be restless until we break. To the other side that feels like death, but it's not. It's only dying to the falsehood, like a caterpillar to a butterfly, breaking free unto itself. So I will end with The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. The rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I and my family will dwell in the house of the Lord. Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you so much for this time. Thank you for your words that you're sharing, not just with me, but with our community. And hopefully this vibration, this frequency will reach many more than just the two of us. So thank you for your time. Be well, and tell my dad I love him too.
Okay. I love you so much. Thank you for your heart.
Oh, thank you.
Bless you, my child.
Thank you.